want to acknowledge the presence of all the people here, in their respective capacities, starting with my colleague, Senior Minister, the Honorable Luther Cheng, the permanent secretaries, Joseph and Pius, the police leadership, led by the Deputy Aigp, the family, Christine and children, relatives, friends, good afternoon. Visitors are here threatened us with the question, who is prepared? And I saw everyone look down. If I may answer, I'm preparing to prepare for that day. My remarks are a blend of condolences on behalf of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, where the Uganda Police falls, and also on behalf of the Senior Minister, who is not here, but nevertheless sends his condolences, but also on my own behalf, because of the connections I have with the late Charles. And to that extent, it will be a blend of condoling, but also thanksgiving. Condoling because certainly of the huge loss of this big persona that Charles was, but also thanksgiving for his monumental life. My condolences are extended to the family, Christine and the children, and all of you here in the congregation. The passing of a young, useful, and impactful life cut short. The passing of a human being, in our local language, Omuntu Urunji par excellence. Some people, save for biology, are anything but human. They are inhuman. Not so Charles. He was a fine human being. He was a truly good man. So we have reason to condole and to grieve over the loss of Charles. The appropriate illustration of who Charles really was is in the multitudes and variety of people in this congregation. He is linked to many through relationships of blood, service, friendship, and profession. I'm one of those who are privileged to have links with him through blood relations, through service and profession. I'm his maternal uncle. My father, also a former police officer, is a cousin to his grandfather on his mother's side. His maternal uncles, the late Major Nathan Muhoozi and the late Nwajira, were pioneer members of the NRA, our predecessor to the UPDF. Muhoozi was actually among the historical cohort of 27 fighters. Nathan, again, married Jennifer. I think she's in this congregation. I don't know where she's seated. A relative from my mother's side, further consolidating our relationship. That combined with service of our elders, my father in the police, his uncles in the NRA, even his paternal uncle, John Air Force. I don't know if he's here. I don't know if John Air Force is here. That one was one of the senior people who started NRA. So through the elders, and later mine and his service in the UPDF and the Uganda Police Force, respectively, consolidates our connection. Charles and I also share another profession, the legal profession. His last duty station was as head of legal affairs and human rights in the Uganda Police Force, where he was director, and although his service was short, he left impact. Before that, if you can see through the book, he had a stint at many stations, including CID, like Akulo said. He was not just a lawyer, he was one that commanded a good grasp of the law and how to apply it for effect in his work. He exuded confidence and calm. That's why I would want to describe him in our local language as a Mnyamateka Wobteka. Charles was a team player and a transformational leader. He had some challenges in the course of his career. That suspension that has been spoken about, 8 years, quite long, but gladly he waited it through and was finally absolved and cleared, and also redeployed and even promoted to the rank of his last post, the third highest rank in the force of Aigp at the time of his passing. Somebody lamented and said, the nonsenses of life. What lessons do we pick? I would want to dwell more on the positives of that nonsense. The lessons we learned. The resilience of Charles, his endurance, his grace, but also his absolution at the end of the day. So for the system, thanks to Charles' sacrifice, we learned our lessons, and I think we are in a better place to handle our personnel better. But also, if I can be flippant, Charles was lucky to be absolved in his lifetime. Jesus wasn't, and he was crucified. And for that nonsense that put him to the cross, we get salvation. Me and Alan, who are often sinners. So, nonsense aside, what lessons do we pick? We want to thank Charles for taking it in stride, and at the end of the day, through him, for being the repository that truth, however long it takes, triumphs. I therefore want to take this opportunity to thank the President and Commander-in-Chief for clearing Charles and for promoting him and having him reassigned. I also want to thank the police leadership in the same vein for believing in Charles and not giving up on him. I thank them also for standing by him during the time he was unwell and caring for him. I'd like to thank his parents in their absence. His father died when they were young, but especially his mother. And by extension, maybe a little bit, his uncle, the late Muhoozi. And his family, Christine, has been spoken well too. And I would want once again, since we've sat for a long time, to stand up in memory of his mother and father and to give them a hand clap. Thank you. His wife and children, his sisters, Carol and Connie, Brother Eddie, his relatives and friends, we thank you and can't thank you enough for your support and care that you extended to Charles in his good and hard times. Charles leaves an indelible trail. He's survived by Christine and the children. He also leaves durable impact through his service and the many lives he touched. These will survive and immortalize him. Charles, the humane human being, the good man, the fine officer and gentleman, the husband, father, brother, uncle, colleague, friend and son will be greatly missed. May his soul rest in eternal peace. for God and our country. The ministry will extend some mabugo of 10 million, and we shall hand it over in good time to the family, either here in Kampala or in Kashari. Thank you for your kind attention.
Let's give the State Minister, or Minister of State in charge of the Foreign Affairs a round of applause. The church still has its role to play. We are coming to you very shortly. You'll be happy to know. But before you do that, ladies and gentlemen, let's invite Charles Rock, the love of his life, the wife of his youth, the one who truly knew him. Let's stand up as we invite Christine to address us